If I lost everything tomorrow, this is exactly what I would do immediately to make sure that I make 6 to even 7 figures in 2024. In this video, I'm gonna share with you the 4 proven steps that you can take to accomplish them, and upon them, tell you what I would do, how I would do it, and how you can do it too. Now, make sure and watch till the very end of this video, of course, for step number 4, because step number 4 is where you can take 6 figures and start walking your way into 7 figures, aka being a freaking millionaire. So let's go ahead and jump dive right into step number 1. Now, real quick, one thing I am gonna say is if you don't have this initial step, your bank account will stay at $0 forever. So step number 1 is plan your next moves. So what I want you to do first and foremost is pick up the book from Patrick Bet-David, Your Next 5 Moves. That is a phenomenal book, and shout out to Patrick Bet-David, freaking awesome. But in it, it's gonna show you how to plan your next 5 moves and genuinely make a real plan. But in that first initial step of making the plan, you have to figure out who you are, who you want to be, and what do you actually want to accomplish. Of course, everybody wants freedom and everybody wants these things, but how are you gonna make it happen? And what do you truly want beyond just that? After you figure that out, then you make a plan to actually fulfill on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you examples of my goals and then how I would plan to actually fulfill on it, especially if I lost everything. My first goal is I would want to own a company that is the best of the best. I want to accomplish setting up my family for generations to come, and I want to be the guy that was remembered, that changed everything in one specific space. So my plan upon that would be this: get money first, save that money, figure out how to start making more money so I can increase not only my income but also my savings, learn new skills while making a really good amount, then start my own company, help a bunch of other people succeed, build my legacy, and of course, enjoy the journey as I'm on it. So that would be my initial plan and my initial goals of how I would actually write this out. And then I would go into step number 2 of actually starting to make it happen. Now, this next step, of course, is the most simple step, but I'm telling you, it is the most effective step that you could possibly take. So step number 2 is take action. Get a job and start saving money. If I lost everything, I would have to swallow my pride if I could and live with my mom. But if not, and I just needed to rent a place or whatever the case may be, this is what I would do instead. I would budget like crazy. I would look at every single penny that I'm spending or not spending, and I'll break that down for you right here. How much am I making at my full-time job right now? That could be per month, per hour, per week, whatever you want to break it into, but break it up into something. Know how much you're making from your full-time job. After that, how much is my rent? That's a really good question, and you need to know this. You need to be able to look at it and actually make a plan. What is the least amount that I can spend on groceries but still get everything that I need in food? Another step: how can I have no car payment and the cheapest insurance? If I have a super expensive car right now and I have a loan out on it, me personally, I'm selling that car and getting a cheap piece of crap, because I know as long as it gets me to where I'm trying to go, I'm good. I don't need to show off anything. I need to save money. I need to budget, because I have a plan that will allow me to buy multiple different cars and the biggest house I want if I do this now and sacrifice right now. And then last but not least, and realistically, you can either make this last or you can make this first depending on your priorities, but how much can I save? The reason I put this last is because I need to budget first. I need to know what I'm spending, what I need, what I don't need. After I figure that out, then I am going to take that last bit and save every single penny of it. Right now, all I'm trying to do is survive and build up my savings. That is it. So that would be step number 2, and that would lead me into step number 3. Now, this step is the ultimate step to actually getting to 6 figures. This is the most important step, in my opinion, to be able to put all of your bills on automatic, have your savings ramped up like crazy, and be able to make 6 figures in 2024. So step number 3 would be take advantage of the information age that we live in today. And with that, increase my value. That is step number 3. So the first question I would ask myself is, okay, I've got a full-time job. I've been saving up some money, so I have some money to spend. So what skill can I learn right this moment with the money that I have saved up. And of course, what skill can I learn that is a quick return, but a big enough return to not worry about any of my bills and keep adding my savings even further. Now, in this step, I'm not trying to start a business. I'm not trying to execute on the further plan yet. I am just simply trying to increase my income and increase a certain skill level, one skill level, so I can get paid more money. So the first thing I would do, of course, is think back. Okay, what was my plan? What do I eventually want to do? I know that I want to start a company. I know that I want to change a specific realm of this specific space. For me, that would be sales because I have experience in that. And of course, where do I want to be in the next 10 years? I want to be starting my company in sales. So what I would do specifically is this. I personally would pick sales. I would try and invest into learning that specific skill. For me, I already have it. I don't need to invest in learning in the skill, but I do need to invest into actually getting a good job. That job specifically for me, based around my plan, is I would look for a sales position at a sales training company. The reason why is because I want to start a sales training company eventually. That's the job I'm going to go after. That's the job I'm going to look for. I know it's going to pay me way better. I know I'm going to be able to make 6 figures at this job, but most importantly, I'm going to be able to learn multiple different skills that are going to show me how a sales company is actually ran so I can do it in the future. Now, for you watching this video, maybe you want to do that. Maybe you don't have a skill, whatever the case may be. That is cool, right? Pick which skill best suits you. Maybe you're a really good writer. Maybe in English class, you absolutely love it. Cool, go be a copywriter, right? And then if your plan is eventually to start a business, amazing. Be a copywriter for a specific business that you would like to start and go work for that company as a copywriter. You're gonna make money, you're gonna do really well, and most importantly, you're gonna be able to see how that company runs so you can do it in the future. And that goes for every example, whether it's video editing, appointment setting, closing, whatever it is that you want to learn and the skill that you want to do, you can do it. You just have to make sure and pick the right actions when you go into a specific company because it's gonna be the next step of your plan later. Now, with that being said, that brings me to the last step, which is step number 4. Okay, this is the step that brings you from 6 figures to 7 figures. Now, before I get into this, if you've liked the video so far, make sure and hit that like and subscribe button. And of course, guys, if you are wanting to learn a skill and you're at that level where now it's time to increase your income, you need to learn sales. You need to actually get paid for the effort that you're putting in. I have a link in the description below that'll give you a free training on everything sales and make sure that you're prepared. So check that out. I hope it's super valuable for you. Matter of fact, I know it's going to be super valuable for you. Just make sure and click the link in the description. Now, with that being said, step number 4, this is the last and final step, which is execute, execute, execute. It is now time for your plan to come into fruition. You've got money from a normal job. You've saved that money. You've invested into a skill so that you can actually expand your money and expand your savings. Now it's time to execute on your original plan. At this point, you or I in this matter, right, would have been doing this skill for the last 3 to 5 years, being really good at it, saving my money and have a ridiculous amount in savings, had all my bills on auto, learned skills, but most importantly, I learned how that company operated in every single piece of any situation. I learned what that company does, how that company does it, how they market, how they fulfill, all of that good stuff. And I've gotten really good at it. I've been studying, I've taken notes. Now it's my time to execute. So here's what I would do. 2 things. Number 1, I would go to the company and say, hey, I have really good ideas for this company that I know are going to make this company even better. I would like to work alongside with you directly, be a CEO or a chief operations officer, whatever the case may be, come up with multiple ideas, innovate, and be an entrepreneur per se, right, for that company. That way I get a percentage and I'm being paid almost millions of dollars depending on the company. Or if they said no, you stay there and you keep selling, we don't need that, I would quit immediately and I would go start my company. And I would start it in that same basically brand that they're in, but I would make it 10 times better because I would know what to do. I would be getting feedback from all the customers because I was a closer specifically, and I would make sure and make the best business that anybody has ever seen. And I would execute on that plan. I would get leads. I would make sure that I was investing all the money that I had in my savings. By the way, this is where this comes in, to make sure that I could get leads, I could get a team, I understand how to operate it, and I would be on my way to 7 figures in a heartbeat. I would be a freaking millionaire. So in your case, if you're trying to do this, be patient, right? Make sure you're getting the number one skill that you have, you're increasing your money, and when it is that time, dive in, go all in, and freaking execute. Because I promise you, that is your way of going from 6 figures to 7 figures, 8 figures, and beyond. Because you can do it, you just have to do it smart, and you have to have a plan. So again, if I lost everything right now, this is exactly what I would do in 2024, and I would freaking kill it in the next few years.